The following programme may contain adult themes, strong language, and some nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
The Josh Widdicombe XFM podcast.
Live from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Hello! Hello! I am fully aware that there's no real wings, so half of you could see me stood there anyway. It's always a gamble, but I have to do it at the start. Who has heard the podcast or radio show before? Awkward. Who is excited about finding out what it's like? Yes. Who is aware that I quit it a month ago? Yeah, so if you like it, too late. So what this is we did the radio show for 2.5 years. Last summer we thought, oh, this radio show is fun. We'd like to do it live in Edinburgh with all the regular guests, and we'll do it late at night, and it will involve the audience interaction, which you've done. You filled in your forms. You're the equivalent of texting in. We're going back to that, and if we know, we might come to you, we might talk to you. Also, each of our regular comedians who's on the show has their own section of the show that they'll be doing for you. I say this because on the first night, no one had heard the show before. I'm not saying there weren't an audience that were perfect for it. All I'm saying is that one genuinely asked my mate on the way out, who was that guy that hosted it? So that's not me being arrogant, but my name is in the title. So are we up for that? Yeah, it's a very fun show. Also, there is a chance to win a prize at the end. Fucking hell, you're good. And that prize is, you'll wait and see. It is literally priceless. So let you judge for yourselves on that. Are we ready to meet all of the guests on the show? Be aware, I do not know the meaning of the word overbooking. So, from left to right, we will have, please just cheer them all on, don't cheer your favourites. Well, cheer them all level up. What I mean is don't go silent for your favourite. So please, from left to right, Nish Kumar, Matthew Crosby, Nathaniel Metcalfe, Suzi Ruffell, Ivo Graham, James Acaster, and John Robbins. And for listeners to the show, for the first time revealed in the flesh, producer Neil.
It's really a Neil crowd in tonight.
And throughout the show, as a climax of the show, throughout the show, 1997 or 2007?
1997.
Britain, comedian Tom Neenan, and we don't want to make big claims, but we found out that he was, in 1997, crowned runner-up in Young Cartoonist of the Year. So throughout, Tom Neenan will be drawing the show. Tom Neenan, ladies and gentlemen. And at the end, let's reveal the prize. The prize is you get to win the drawings. Oh! It's 248 people couldn't give a shit. 2 are going, I'm in it to win it. Let's do this.
A couple of Neenan fans in the house as well, intermixed with the general Neil vibe.
Just to create an idea of what the show is like, Nish, how did your parents describe listening to the podcast?
Just a bunch of Josh and his little cronies messing about.
You're in for a treat. So how are we all, panel?
I need to ask a question. Does anyone have a bottle opener? Because have you, mate?
Oh, he's got the
Absolute
look
legend
of
in
a
the front
man
row.
What?
I thought you were taking your clothes off then.
I'll be honest with you, he looks like the sort of guy that can do it with his teeth.
No. I did that once and it backfired. I lost. Yeah, of course. And also because it's your bottle opener.
There we go. How's the rest of the panel?
Very well, thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you.
You opened
So it's
both
got-
in a row?
You what?
Yep.
I'm not gonna do this again.
What, do you not like the bloke? He seems quite nice.
He's lovely.
What's your name, sir? Ewan. You from Scotland? I am. Yep.
How did you guess, Josh? The fact that he carries a bottle opener in his pocket. Better together.
Oh, someone tried to start a round of applause for that. Not here, mates. You won't get that. We'll not get that here.
Now,
Freedom.
as an introduction to the panel, I suppose we should go through the topics with the panel. Ivo Graham is in charge of the cards tonight. How's it going?
I've looked at one and I'm making progress.
Was it a good one?
What? Oh, it's an absolute belter. I think we can build the whole show around it. But I'll see if we can find any others.
Is that Newton Faulkner again?
Yeah, Newton. Don't
We had an answer about
ruin it,
Newton
Jim.
Faulkner last night, and I'm hoping that Newton Faulkner is the answer to when have you pretended to be someone else, not things your parents won't let you throw away.
Or the saddest answer ever to have you met the Ting Tings? No, but
We should say on Have You Met the Ting Tings that to give you an idea of the audience we attract on the radio show, that was something we said in passing and by mistake became the most popular texting we ever had.
Do you know what the most popular texting me and Ellis ever had on our show? Because me and Ellis, James, also do a show on XFM.
Yeah, this isn't it, John.
Lovely chance to plug, though. Lovely
Yeah.
chance to plug.
Let Josh do his show. You can do your show when it's popular enough to have a live audience.
Sadly,
Well, we sold out 3 nights of the Phoenix off one feature, mate. We've had to cobble together 7 tonight.
I stand corrected. You have the floor.
Well,
Better together.
it's relevant because we mentioned something in passing that became the most popular feature we ever had, which is, isn't a cream egg a good weight to throw?
That sounds like something from Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
So the 2 topics we've got, when have you pretended to be someone else, stroke has someone pretended to be you, and things your partner, stroke parents want you to throw away, but you won't. We've already asked the panel, the last 2 nights, have you met the Ting Tings? So just checking in the last 24 hours.
Nah.
We'll move on from that one. Anyone on things we're pretending to be someone else?
Yeah, 2 words. Ramesh Ranganathan. Not because I'm not trying to talented Mr. Ripley him or anything. It's just,
Is this just a description of your career plan?
yeah, it's not going well. I've got to crank out 3 kids.
Crank out.
I believe that is the technical term, Jonathan.
Is that what the midwives say? She's just about to crank out.
Let's get this baby out of this woman's butt and get on home. I, on 2 occasions, one this Edinburgh, have pretended to be Ramesh Ranganathan to diffuse an awkward situation. The awkward situation being somebody thought I was Ramesh Ranganathan.
I'll be honest with you, it was a booking cock-up.
A friend of mine at uni, his chat-up line was that he was the drummer from Coldplay.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's remarkably successful because no one knows what the drummer from Coldplay is like. But it's still box office.
Did he use the right name?
No, he just said, I'm the drummer from Coldplay.
What's your name? Coldplay?
So what stage were Coldplay at? Super successful?
No, this was 2003. So like super famous, but not like...
Not right now.
It would still work.
2 #1 albums, headlining Glastonbury, best band in the world. Will Champion's the drummer, got several posters on my wall. Wouldn't have worked with me.
Who in here knew that the drummer from Coldplay is called Will Champion? That
it.
guy, and you again.
See you for a pint afterwards, we'll talk about B-sides.
Anyone else on pretending to be someone else?
I had a friend from college who looks a lot like Jamie Cullum, and we were trying to get into a bar one night, a club, and he said, I'm Jamie Cullum, and the bouncer went, sorry, Jamie, we can't let you in tonight. Amazing.
Oh, poor Jamie Cullum.
Poor Jamie Cullum.
I've got someone on the internet pretending to be me.
Oh, yes.
Laugh it up, Nish.
What was this?
I was once on the television.
Woo!
So, pretty cool. And it was on a show where they write your name 1 million times behind you, your full name. And,
Countdown.
Yeah. And what they wrote for me, my name is James Acaster, which is an ER, and they wrote James Acaster with an OR, and I didn't notice, and it went out like that. And what would happen then, whenever that show got repeated on Dave, is that I would get a lot of people send me nice tweets all the time. I never get anything slagging me off, which is very rare. And I was very happy about this. And then my mum told me that what she does every time it goes out is she also searches James Acaster on Twitter, and that guy gets a lot of shit.
She's here tonight, isn't she?
She is in tonight. My mother's here. Very proud of herself, and
she's cranked out a great comedian.
I don't thank you enough for that, Mum. Thank you for the cranking out. I never said. So me and Nish and our friend Ed. Is Ed along later, Ed Gamble? Yeah, we quite like the fact that everyone hated Acaster. So one day Ed was bored and set up a Twitter account for James Acaster. And what happens is now whenever it gets repeated on Dave, people tweet directly at him saying, "You're really shit, mate, you're not funny." And then he will tweet back at them going, "Leave me alone, I'm only trying my best at doing my comedy."
And he will often spell comedy almost indecipherably wrong.
He spells everything wrong, and his whole career mirrors mine, but like a weirder version of it. So I did a show called Lawnmower once, and he did a show called Hedge Trimmer at the same time. Which
but his venue burned down.
Yeah, his venue burnt down, and his flyers got lost at the butcher's. A lot of his escapades involve a butcher. At one point, a butcher threw his phone in the sea, and then he went to try and get it, and I think was attacked by pirates. It went very badly.
He's doing his scrapes in the Pleasance Grand tonight.
Things your partner or parents want you to throw away, but you won't.
52 empty bottles of Captain Morgan's rum.
Been a big year this year, hasn't it, John?
Yeah. One a week, and my girlfriend got to sort of breaking point. I don't know why I keep them. I've always kept things. When I used to smoke, I kept empty fag packets under my bed. So like every packet of cigarettes I kept.
Wow.
I also...
The memories, or...
I don't know.
I think the illness is the memory. Yeah. I also smoke. I'm not having a go at John. That's killed it, hasn't it?
I thought it was nice. I thought it was like you trying to reintroduce some edge after the Coldplay snafu. Yeah. He's a Coldplay fan, but he smokes, ladies.
I've seen Ivo smoke, and he smokes in exactly the way you would expect him to, in that a poor person holds the fag for him.
One to roll, one to hold.
But yeah, so she started putting them
where do you keep them, though, John? Where do you keep your bottles?
I keep them
I thought you meant my people.
Downstairs, we know that.
They were around... I've got a big framed photo of Frank Zappa in our living room. She's very patient, my girlfriend. And they were all around that, and then they started to spread into the hall, and now she's sort of put about 20 of them in a little cubby hole and said, "You're not allowed any more than you've got out at the minute." And she mooted recycling them. And you know when you don't realise you care about something until someone says, "We're going to change this thing," and I got quite upset.
That sounded like a Coldplay lyric.
Did you rinse them out first, at least?
Never, because there's always dregs, just in case I'm desperate.
So, let's move on. Before we get into a really bleak area.
Yeah, before this podcast turns into an intervention.
Nothing bleak about rum. It's a jolly drink. You've seen sailors.
Yeah, it's yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. It's not weep, weep, weep and a bottle of rum.
And 52 bottles of rum.
Now, we each... one of these the comedians does a topic each night, which they used to do as a regular feature on the show. And we will start tonight with Matthew Crosby with your topic.
Thank you very much for that somber introduction.
I'm sorry to say we will be starting with Matthew Crosby.
So, I used to read out from celebrity autobiographies on the show. I'm a big fan of celebrity autobiographies. I collect them. And today I'm going to be reading... In previous episodes, we've had the Crankies, Fan Dabby Dozy.
Someone laughed at the word Crankies, thinking it was another reference to cranking out a child.
Well, in that case, it sort of is.
We also had an incredibly bleak episode yesterday when we read from the Full Monty, the autobiography of Jim Davison, where he talked about accidentally getting a blowjob from a man. And
Whilst on a night out with a man called Nish.
Yes.
It was fucking weird.
So, again, it mirrored your life entirely, didn't it? But today I'm going to be reading from two of Newcastle's finest. Firstly, I've got Broken Music here by Sting, which is the most pretentious book I've ever read in my life. And the second most pretentious is Me, Me, Me by Charlotte Crosby, who you'll recognise from, two of you know. She's from the Geordie Shore, the show about sort of cunts. So...
Could I just ask, Matthew, what your wife is called?
My wife is actually called Charlotte Crosby, and we're very happy together, and she does piss the bed all the time. It's a different Charlotte Crosby. The thing is, my wife's called, it's called Charlotte Lewis. She hasn't actually taken my name. She's called Charlotte Lewis, and unfortunately, in our area, we have a BNP counsellor who also has red hair and glasses, as my wife does, called Charlotte Lewis, who actually got kicked out of the BNP for being too racist. and Sarah, her sister, kept getting contacted by people going, "God, Charlotte's gone off the rails, hasn't she?" So she's like, "Well, it doesn't matter. When we get married, I might take your name." And then Charlotte Crosby got sort of reasonably famous. She's got about 3 million followers on Twitter, and it's basically just from the fact that she's pooed herself on telly upwards of 14 times. So she's stuck with the racism. Because she is a lady. She's racist, but in a very demure way. So I am going to read from...
She blacks up in a very strange way.
Have you met Charlotte Crosby, did you say?
I've done 2 digital panel shows for the Charlotte Crosby.
I've met her a few times.
She's incredibly nice, so I hope this is tasteful.
A fascinating creature, isn't she?
She's like, really nice.
She's got the sort of she's like a child. If that child...
In that she shits herself.
Yeah. But yeah, like in that she's sort of got no kind of filter, but she's also very sexy, so it's quite confusing. So, well, I'll tell you what, you're going to work this out, but for the listener at home, if you'd like to play at home, see if I'm reading from Charlotte Crosby or from Sting, okay? This is either Charlotte Crosby or Sting on the subject of love.
On the subject of writing Roxanne.
When I first met Stuart Copeland, it's definitely Sting. So again, it's a tough read, this, because it is so pretentious. He talks about being reunited with an ex-girlfriend here. So now the star-crossed lovers are reunited. And of course, my mother knows me well enough to guess that I am too far from immune to the promptings of this same sentimental and childlike vocabulary. Perhaps it is the scarcity of vocabulary that is the root of the problem. Love seems like such a deeply inadequate word for a concept with so many complex shades and shapes and degrees of intensity. If the Inuit have 20 words for the concept of snow, then perhaps it is because they live in a realm where the differences between each type of snow are of vital importance to them. And the minutiae of their... You wrote do-do-do-da-da-da, mate!
I honestly felt like bursting into "You'll remember me."
Okay. The minutiae of their specific vocabulary reflects that central importance. Yet we who spend vast amounts of our time, energy, and ingenuity thinking about love, being loved, loving, longing for love, living for love, even dying for love, have no more than this paltry, troublesome word that is no more descriptive or effective than the word "fuck" is for expressing the wonderful and infinite varieties of sexual congress.
I've got a use for the word "fuck" right now.
It's rather like a city dweller looking at the jungle and dumbly grunting the word "trees" for the manifold diversity that faces him. There are plants out there that can feed him, plants that can cure him, and plants that can kill him. And the sooner he identifies them and names them, the safer he will be. Now, is that Charlotte
I think it's time for a bit of Sting.
Is that Charlotte Crosby or is it Sting? I'll leave that for the audience at home to work out. I'll leave that for you to
Does his book ever reach a climax or not?
What's that?
Oh. You'd have to read a lot more of that to get to that.
What trees can kill you?
Well, they fall on you, all of them.
Lord of the Rings trees?
Yeah, the Ents.
Thank you, Ivo.
They're not trees.
I've never been made to look cool before.
Wish James Acaster was here. He knows about Ents.
He's actually been crushed by a tree.
So very, very quickly, This is from, again, is this Sting or is this Charlotte from Geordie Shore? The first line is deceptive. I had a few epiphanies in Mexico. I also had the shits quite a lot. This is from a chapter called Wee and Poo. Genuinely. Just called Wee and Poo.
Wait, you're not doing it enough justice.
It's wee, brackets, and poo, close brackets. I also had the shits quite a lot. One time I got them so badly I had to get rid of my pooey knickers, so I put them in a bag. And then I put them in the bin in front of Gary. There was nothing I wouldn't show Gary. As my mum says, I have no boundaries. And it's because I do things like that he would never go out with me. Yeah, so many reasons. Gary likes his women to be ladies, or at least pretend they are, like my racist wife. Whereas my boyfriend Mitch loves me for being me. I always poo in front of him. This, by the way, this next sentence is baffling. It's like an MC Escher picture. Sometimes we even sit on each other's laps while we're on the loo. How? How do you do that? By the way, we've worked how we're ending the show tonight. I'd go so far as to say that pooing has brought us closer. Anyway, everyone poos. What's the big deal? My man pooed on my head when I was born. I've got a bit of a reputation for pooing. There was one time at a Geordie Shore house party when I had really bad diarrhea. The problem was that the Geordie Shore house only has 2 toilets, so whenever we have a few people round, there's always a queue for the loo. This night, the toilet queue was too big for me to face. We were all upstairs chatting, and Vicky was telling us an in-depth story, and all I kept thinking was how much I needed the loo, and I couldn't go downstairs because the queue was too long. There was a mixing bowl in the room. And this is you know why they would have a mixing bowl in the Geordie Shore house? There was a mixing bowl in the room from when we were making a vagina mould in one of the episodes. It's a much better book than Sting's book, guys. It's a much better book. It's a real page turner. So Vicky told me to go get the bowl. I ended up emptying my entire bowels into that bowl. It was in front of Vicky, but I think she just thought I was doing a wee. I put it back in the corner of the room. Sorry if you're reading this while eating your lunch. Maybe this chapter should have come with a warning. We were so caught up in conversation that we forgot about my incident and headed back downstairs to the party. It wasn't until we came back up later to put our pyjamas on with a group of people and we were engrossed in conversation that suddenly someone said, "What's that smell?" One of the cameramen on duty that night was a guy called Mike, and he'd be watching my every move. Obviously, that was his job. He told me afterward that he was laughing at my reaction when people asked about the smell, because he could see the recollection slowly dawn on me that it was my bowl of poo in the corner. As we walk in fields of gold. So his camera followed me, creeped me over to where I was, and he watched me slowly pick it up, hoping no one would notice. I went down the stairs, clutching the bowl, weaving my way through the crowd, as people started shouting, "Charlotte, is that punch?" No. I went into the bathroom and poured the whole thing down the sink. It went everywhere.
Sink!
I know. Sink. Not the sharpest tool in the box, but still. Mike said he was retching just watching me. In the end, the producers decided the footage was too disgusting to show on TV. And then she gives a list, because she says, I also have a bit of a name for myself as a wee-a-lot, which means she wheezes a lot. For some reason, I've never been able to control my bladder, which I'm always either wetting the bed or weeing in the sink. Again, the sink! Which I did once in the middle of the night in the Geordie Shore house, and I still can't remember doing it. I think I was sleepwalking. And she's got here next, here are some places I've done a wee. Which Sting fails to mention.
But he does say, there should be more words for we than just we.
So it's toilet, sink, bath, bowl, the hot tub, the street, the girl's bedroom bin, and in bed. So if I was going to recommend one of these 2 books, well, I managed to get to the end of Charlotte Crosby's book. Broken music broke me. So those are my books. Thanks very much.
Matthew Crosby! Now, Ivo Graham, you have been going through the pile. It doesn't look the most ordered pile.
I'm getting a system slowly. I've made a whole pile devoted to answers to the Ting Tings question.
Okay, so shall we start with the Ting Tings?
Night 3, and no one's met the Ting Tings, but there are quite fun. Everyone's got quite a lot of people saying sort of, who are they, with an unnecessary amount of question marks. Come on, guys. And then some fun ones, not personally, but seen them perform at V Festival. Thank you. Only through the medium of song.
Is Sting here?
I don't understand this one. Only in the afterlife. Brackets, Yeovil. I don't know if that's a...
No idea, no.
All in capitals. What the fuck are they? And then, no, but the Ting Tings haven't met me either, have they?
Okay. Well, that's the most successful that's ever gone.
Yeah.
When you pretend to be someone else, someone pretended to be
Someone's left it pretty broad. I don't know if this is a joke or not, just written. Costume party. Just that. How about...
I like the fact it's called... costume party is a very old-fashioned term for fancy dress party, isn't it?
Yes, but bear in mind this person hasn't even answered the question, have you met the Ting Tings? So, it's a bloody oldie. At least say that they haven't met you either. Or mention Yeovil. So we've got a choice between Patrick Swayze's Minder or to get into the UN Christmas party.
UN Christmas party, it's got to be, isn't it?
Kirsty Mackay.
What's
Kirsty?
the name? Kirsty? Yep, there. Can we get a mic to Kirsty? To get into the UN Christmas party. Ed Gamble's here.
Hello, Ed.
Well, welcome.
This is James
Acaster in the flesh. Chatting about Acaster. No, not everyone knows it's you, really. They all know it's you.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. It's very easy to get on stage here, by the way. Literally, no. I feel like Lee Nelson. No one challenges me.
Is that why you're dressed like it?
Yeah. Left the hat on, guys.
Ivo. Oh, sorry. So it was Kirsty.
Hello. Hi.
Hiya.
Kirsty, you sound very timid for someone who broke into the UN Christmas party.
It wasn't too tricky.
So what happened? You wanted to get into the UN Christmas party especially, or just took your chance?
It was better than ours, so we figured we
Who do you work for? NATO?
I used to work for the WTO.
Oh, okay. So close.
And our party was all right, but they had free booze, so.
I bet they had free. So what was any of the big dogs there?
Not really, no. Sorry, it is a bit rubbish.
No,
Who would you say are the big dogs of the UN, Josh? Name 5.
2 words, Jerry Halliwell.
Wait, who did you pretend to be to get in? Ban Ki-moon? Because I'm spotting a couple of problems.
No, I'm just a member of the Irish mission.
So what did you say? Who was security?
It wasn't that difficult to get in.
They were like, go on in. The drummer from Coldplay's having a great time in there. Really enjoying himself.
Ivo?
He's a far better drummer than people give him credit for.
You've just turned one over there. Have you run out?
No, I haven't run out. I've got loads, but there's just lots of stories.
Ivo,
okay.
it's a fine line between a pile and a complete mess, isn't it?
Yeah. And
he's lost in narrative, Nish.
How about this one? Got caught trolley riding in a park, and when asked for my name, decided to tell him it was Lennox Lewis. Brackets, when I was 15.
I'm not sure 15's going to be the issue here.
Who's that?
Dean.
Or is it?
Yeah, I can immediately spot
it.
one.
Huge problem.
The whitest hand I have ever seen in my life.
You can spot the issue straight away, can't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
What happened when you said Lennox Lewis?
Yeah, I was...
Did you say it in a sarcastic manner or in a genuine panic?
It was literally the first name that came to my head.
It was that or Linford Christie. That was the 2 he was going for.
I was going for a
Every
joke.
time you go drummer from Coldplay. Jesus Christ, mate.
Yeah.
Carol.
I got caught, basically, I was riding a trolley in a park.
Were you on your own?
No, I was with a group of friends.
Oh,
but I
that's
was
good, because otherwise I was like, oh, poor lad.
And your mate Lennox Lewis playing in the park.
I was the one stupid enough to get in the trolley, and they pushed me down. Down a path.
Yeah.
I sort of rolled conveniently into 2 bystanders who sort of took massive offence to me taking a bit of a trolley ride.
What's Lennox Lewis doing in that trolley?
Got a fight coming up.
Was this at the height of Lennox Lewis?
Lennox Mania?
No, well, not really Lennox Mania. Sort of, he was round and about, and I'm a bit of a sporty person, so I just
You knew that he
couldn't up his
wouldn't mind.
name.
He wouldn't miss the pound. That's what you knew.
And what they sort of took me to the police, and
They took you to the police?
yeah.
What
and
did you think was going to happen? Were they going to be like, oh my God, Mr. Lewis, I'm so sorry. As a former heavyweight champion, you are entitled to ride a trolley to your heart's content.
Yeah.
I know what the police said. There are many names for love.
Any more, Ivo?
More about Lewis.
No. Just do your job. Hand half of them to Susie. Hand half of them to Susie.
No.
Just to let you know, yesterday about...
Do you want to give me
Someone's just written yes and no. Come on.
Ivo, do you want me to take some for you, mate?
About 3/4 of the way into the show, Ivo popped off to charge his phone and cut all the power to the entire building. So I guess we're all excited to find out what's going to happen
This
today.
is fun. This is... okay, worth waiting for. Right. I'm going to do the second half of the sentence first because I think the first half is the best bit. I ordered a takeaway in the name of Mrs. Depp. Right. You give you 100 guesses. You don't guess at the beginning of this sentence. To cheer myself up after a funeral.
We are all hoping Acaster's mum here. Who's the arm?
Alex.
Front row. What's your name? Alex.
Alex Depp, lovely to meet you.
So how did...
Whose funeral? What was the takeaway? Did it work? And what were the ting-tings like at Somerset House? Those are my 4 questions.
What was the first question?
Whose funeral? We won't go into that. Whose funeral?
Here's some gold.
Unless it's one of the ting-tings. So did it cheer you up?
Well, it cheered up my friend that I went to the funeral with.
Oh, right.
She didn't think I could get away with it, but...
Didn't you get away with it?
They're going to turn you down for a takeaway. Oh, no, not if it's Mrs. Depp.
We won't be coming, but the police will. So,
Oh, hang on, they've been waylaid by Lennox Lewis.
Celebrities all over town. Isn't it?
One more over?
Was the buffet not good?
One more question.
I'm really yes-anding the situation there.
Sorry.
instantly inquiring after the quality of the buffet.
Yeah, what was the spread like at that tragic event? Pray tell.
You're just panicking.
You're turning them over too fast to read.
No, but they've just written X for both of them and then written, who the fuck wants to meet them? People are so angry about the ting-tings.
Hold on, is that a black American militant group?
Well, we'll come to that feature in a bit. Can you hand some over to Susie?
I've nearly done them.
Hold on, that says David. It might be my dad. Nope.
N.A.
Shall we ask James's parents, Dave and Di? Have you ever pretended to be someone else, or is there things that you won't throw away because your partner's stroke? James doesn't want you to. Wants you to.
I'd like to throw his drum kit away.
Oh. There's a lot of my stuff at their house, to be fair, that they want thrown away. My drum kit's one of them.
No, well, hold on, you're missing the most key item,
kit.
surely.
Huh?
You're missing the most important item that they wanted rid of.
Oh, yeah, for ages you wanted me to chuck away the party gator.
James, I'm going to need you to explain that phrase to the audience.
This is a life-sized yellow stuffed alligator.
Comedy is the new rock and roll. You had it here
and
first.
what was its name?
Andre Kanchelskis.
The only way we could bring it home from the East of England show was strapped to the roof.
The East of England show?
Of our Nissan
North Walsham
Bluebird.
County Fair.
And what were you doing with it there?
I won the party gator, Andre Kanchelskis, at North Walsham County Fair.
Did you name it yourself?
Huh?
Did you name it yourself?
Yeah, I named it myself. It was a scratch card. That was all the thing was. It wasn't like a hoopla or something. It was like scratch cards, and you had to scratch them. And I got 3 faces of ladies, and then I got to choose a toy. And everything was like really small pandas or this massive toy alligator with a pink top hat on. I was like, I would like Andrei Kanchelskis, please. And strapped to the roof of the car.
How old were you?
What was I, 7?
Teen.
Were you disappointed with this choice, Dave and Diane?
Yes, very, very.
Are you disappointed with most of his choices?
It was quite a long time before. Eventually, it moved out with me, wasn't it? That was what happened. And then every house I was
Did he
in-
go to uni as well?
I didn't go to uni,
James
but he
go
did.
to uni. He went to uni and James moved in with him.
Yeah. That Partygator did really well. He was just like Partygator's throwing another party tonight. Home that Square's not there trying to do stand-up. Yeah, and eventually I got rid of him because I was moving in with someone who was my girlfriend at the time and wanted me to get rid of the Partygator. So I did, and he now lives in Northampton with some friends of mine and has acquired a sash that says birthday girl. And I don't know I don't know the story behind that, but he's having a lovely time, I think. Doing all right.
We will be back with more of that, but we will go back to our panellists' specialist subjects, the features they did on the show. Next up, I think, John?
Yeah.
Yep. John, you do a feature on your show every week where you read from... You've written your own autobiography.
Yeah, I wrote... we used to read out Tony Blackburn's autobiography on the show, and because I had to provide more content, I was forced to write my own autobiography.
Is it called 52 Bottles of Rum?
No, it's called A Robins Amongst the Pigeons. And this chapter... So do I get 2 chapters, Neil? Yeah, okay, great. So this chapter, I'd just become a comedian and I needed a decent set of wheels for the long miles. Chapter 15, That'll Be the Day-o. From birth, I have suffered with a sacralized L5 vertebrae. It's my cross, and I bear it with what you might call heroic fortitude or quiet dignity. After a drive to Manchester in my Mini, I was left with crippling back pain, and I knew I would have to invest in a car that was up to the task. On the advice of my stepfather, I perused the range of second-hand cars at Holders of Kongsbury. As soon as I walked in, greeted by resident twin receptionists Jenny and Diane, I knew this place was a cut above the rest. Founded in 1985, Holders was a pivotal part in Seat's rebranding of the Volkswagen Group. Ironically, it was my lumber region's inability to pivot that led me to them. Browsing the forecourt, I tried various Seats. I was impressed. Car seat technology had moved on eons since the Mini Metro, and I was lost in a world of lumbar support, height adjustment, and full horizontal recline. Exiting a particularly tempting Seat Leon, I spotted a neat-looking little hatchback. "What's that, Alan?" I asked, my local reputation having secured Alan Holder himself as my guide for the day. "Oh, that's the Daewoo Lanos," he said. "It's low mileage and an automatic." "Let's see what this baby can do," I replied. Within seconds of slipping into the well-maintained trim of the Daewoo Lanos 1.6 SX, I was smitten. Designed by Giorgetto Guigario, yes, that Giorgetto Guigario, it had the sleek design one would expect from an Automotive Hall of Fame inductee and Car Designer of the Century award winner. By the time the Lanos debuted in 1996, Guigario had already proved his status with the iconoclastic design of the Hyundai Sonata, Fiat Cinquecento, and Barretto CX-4 Storm submachine gun. The CX-4 was a civilian version of the Beretta CX-4 Storm submachine gun. The CX-4... Oh, I said that already. Hang on. It would later become the submachine gun of choice in Canada following its use in a Montreal shooting. That's true, and I had to change that line when we broadcast because I mentioned the actual school. Lanos-wise, that is true. This certain type of machine gun sold out in Canada after it was used in a high school shooting. Lanos-wise, however, the 1....
Just so much to take in, John.
Smooth gear change.
The 1.6 double overhead camshaft provided the kind of power you'd usually expect from a hot hatch, but combined with the authority of a 99.4-inch wheelbase, it was every executive commuter's dream. I'll take it, I purred. Good choice, Alan Holder remarked. He was right. It was compact, reliable, and the only car they had within my price range. And I think now we will move to the chapter where I
shoot someone in a school.
That also was edited by our producer. We'll move to the chapter where this is the one, the John Robbins show. So this is where me and Ellis's show was born. This is the backstory. One afternoon, I received a call from my new agent. He had arranged for myself and Ellis James to record a pilot for London-based digital commercial radio station XFM. What about Six Music? I asked. That's a no-go, he replied. Bollocks, I sighed, before cursing our terrible luck. It was crucial that I make a good impression at XFM. It was an exciting indie rock station, and I must fit the bill of the cool renegade their listenership would be crying out for. Our first meeting was with a young hotshot producer by the name of Producer Dave. I knew Ellis would kowtow to the man at any given opportunity, so I made clear I was a guy who didn't play by the rules. After shaking his hand, I put my feet on his desk and lit a cigarette. I'd taken it from the packet concealed in my T-shirt sleeve like in films. I sized him up. He looked like the sort of guy who would make a good impression on your parents, having mastered the smart, well-groomed appearance of a championship footballer in court on an ABH charge. Let me tell you how this is going to go down, Dave, I snarled. It's 3 hours of Frank Zappa and Queen, no BS. You can't smoke in here, he said, cowering. I knew this was a ploy to break my nerve. Staring him straight in the eyes, I put a cigarette out in my palm and lit another. After a brief chat with Global Radio's security staff, I decided I did want to stop smoking and make a £200 donation to the business of my own free will. I took out the list of show names I drafted the night before. Dave, choose from this list and then we'll talk. The list was John Robbins Blows Your Mind on XFM. John Robbins' great radio show plus guest. The John Robbins XFM show with Welsh assistant. John Robbins presents Freddie and Frank on XFM. Asterisk, additional material by Ellis James. After calls from my agent and the boss at XFM, we decided to settle on the Ellis James and John Robbins show. And I decided to replace 3 hours of Zappa and Queen with a revolving playlist of selected indie hits, including James Bay. It was a canny move on my part, and one that nobody saw coming. It turned out to be the making of us. You're welcome, Ellis. You're welcome.
John Robbins, ladies and gentlemen. More audience interaction, Ivo. What you got for us?
Can we do one about parents throwing away things? Because I think this might lead to a bit of fun. They haven't written their name, though, so someone's just going to have to own up. My lifelong ambition of being #1 in the yodeling hip-hop charts.
Whose lifelong ambition is that?
I mean, I'm assuming it's just one person.
Yeah.
We're all hoping for James's dad.
To identify yourself, could you please yodel in a hip-hop style?
I mean, it is a joker because they've put name Josh Widdicombe.
No, they were answering to who they thought. Oh, I see.
That's what they did a joke because it's name Josh Widdicombe whenever you pretended to be someone else just now.
Yeah, all right. They're not trying to
Are
get
we
to
sure
#1 in
there's
the
not actually
pranking
Josh?
charts.
I think they're prankster.
I vote.
Yeah.
You've had a fucking nightmare.
Why?
I think you've been had, my friend.
They've even finished off the card with a winky face. It's a winky face at the
I
bottom.
thought that meant what they were up for a bit of fun.
At your expense, mate.
That's what that emoji
unfortunately.
means.
You have been well and truly 100% punked.
They're toying with your emoticons.
Right, well.
Come on!
Ivo, have you got any more?
So we're just giving up on finding that person then?
Yeah.
They're not putting their hand up.
Yeah, well, I hope your yodeling career dies a death. Okay, how about Mark, who's pretended to be Graham Day, CEO of British Aerospace.
Mark?
Do you work for British Aerospace? You did then. What was Graham like as a boss? Are these the right questions to be asking?
I think the main question to ask is, why did you lose your job after pretending to be the CEO?
And what context? Were you like, did you call up the payroll and go, hello, this is the CEO. Please give Mark £1 million.
No.
Did you do
that?
that?
Wonder your acting career didn't take off, Nish.
So
3
what's the story behind
auditions,
it, Mark?
0 callbacks.
It was quite a while ago, so about 30 years ago.
The heyday
I
of
was a
British
student,
Aerospace.
Hey, my dad worked for British Aerospace 30 years ago.
Did he?
Yeah.
Was his name Graham Day?
You what?
Was his name Graham Day?
No, not really. Where did you work in Bristol?
No.
Okay, fair enough. I haven't spoken to him for a while. It'd be nice to know how he's getting on.
So what was the story?
So the story was, it was kind of early days of computers, and me and my mate thought we might be able to get into all of the British Aerospace systems, so we thought we'd try Graham Day as a username and G Day as a password.
So did it work? Sounds like a sort of rock and roll story.
Yeah.
It was the early days of computers. Not a lot of people had them.
Did it work?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, he's written what the password was, but I haven't revealed that out of respect for Mr. Day.
What's the password?
Good day.
That's what he just said.
It's not good
That
day.
was part of the story.
Ivo, it's not good
Day,
Ivo. Ivo, you went to Eton.
Yeah, but he didn't go to Australia.
I did live there for a bit, actually. Mocked me for my accent.
So pretty much the same as England.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
but sort of nicer.
Did you get up to any no good once you'd logged in?
No, the most interesting system that we found was one that you could play American football on.
Yeah, kind of playing it fast and loose with the meaning of the word interesting there, buddy.
Nish, you've got to remember, this was the early days of computers. Can we talk to Pauline Buckeridge?
Pauline Buckeridge?
She's admitted in her card to having an illicit affair at work.
Was it with one of the Ting-Tings?
Let's wait till the mic gets to you, because this sounds
the
good.
CEO of British Aerospace.
Or who she thought was the CEO of British Aerospace. He told me his password was good day. My acting's great.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Oh, yes. Pauline Buckeridge.
At
Good
last,
day
I'm
to you,
professional.
Pauline Buckeridge.
Here she comes, Buckaroo.
It's not the first time I've
The
been called
confidence
that.
of someone who has affairs left, right, and centre. Good
Good
evening,
guys.
gentlemen.
Which one of you will I choose tonight?
Ashley Madison Hack, don't care.
How's it? So Pauline Buckeridge. What was the exact wording I wrote?
When have you pretended to be someone else? Constantly during an illicit affair at work. Brackets role playing.
So Pauline, take us through it.
Graphically.
Am I role playing now?
Is that Lennox
Okay.
Lewis?
Mrs. Depp, are you in?
Can't give you any details. My partner's sat beside me.
Oh,
Yeah, I think you've got
Well, we shouldn't have written it down then. I mean, that's...
It's
We
not
haven't
going
got
to end. Is it? Look, they go home and go, well, as long as I don't know the details, that's all very well. Good
That was
night,
the end.
Pauline. I love you with all my heart.
I don't know what is love. If only there was another word.
So many words for it. Disappointed is one of them right now.
We haven't even moved on to Mr. Buckeridge and his rogue eyebrows.
Are you the Crankies?
She's written things your partner wants you to throw. Things your partner. Well, she's crossed. Never mind. I want my partner to pluck away his rogue eyebrows, but he stubbornly refuses.
What a dick. You should get rid of that guy. He sounds like an asshole.
Why do you think I'm having an affair at work?
What the fuck is going on here?
There's some guy with like
Buckeridge is
zero.
saying she's having an affair. Everyone's acting like it's fine. The husband's eyebrows, to be honest, look quite sculpted.
I love the idea that you get home and he's like, were you sleeping with someone else tonight? Yeah, but you haven't plucked your eyebrows. So it's even Stevens.
He was really surprised when he found out about the affair, but you couldn't tell.
Any more, Ivo?
Debs, a bit of a humble brag this. When have you pretended to be someone else? When I said I'd saved a whale in India, but I got bored and started talking to my friends.
God.
Oh, and then she's written, plus, have you met the Ting Tings? No, XFM wouldn't pay. Tight.
Oh, so what?
That was never...
Debs worked for XFM?
Yeah, have we got a rogue XFM employee?
Or any rogue eyebrows?
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
You can speak into that thing.
Hello.
Oh, my word.
You mastered it. I think the wording is, good evening, boys.
I think it was
sounds
guys,
like someone who's
actually.
just worked out what a microphone is, and they go, "Hello, what the fuck?
Can anyone else hear an echo?" So what's the... What was... I can't remember what we were talking to her.
You're in India saving a
remember
whale.
why we were talking to her.
The India saving the world story. What's the story behind that?
So I was travelling in India on a beach in Goa, and
Not
there
that
was
much
this
travelling.
beach whale that came to the side of the beach.
All right, mate, listen, I was carrying a little holiday weight at the time. I was just trying to have a nice holiday in the country of my parents' birth. Go fuck yourself.
And my friend and I were like, oh, we're going to help the effort to get the whale back in the water. So we're all standing around, everyone's trying to get the whale back in the water. My friend and I got slightly distracted, decided to talk amongst ourselves. We looked away for a few seconds, and then the whale was back in the water. Everyone cheered, and I may have told the story that it was pretty much my own solo attempt to get the whale back in the water.
So you pretended to be a nice person?
Even Buckeridge doesn't bother with that.
Yeah. Buckeridge would have been having an affair with the whale.
No eyebrows. That's why they're so sexy. So smooth. Oh, you don't got no rogue eyebrows, do you, whale? Good evening, whales.
Right, now on to our next feature. Nathaniel Metcalfe, hello.
Hello.
Each week, you're a comedian and TV historian.
Of sorts, a TV historian. I don't know if I can claim it. I'm not sure I can claim comedian, to be honest, but I'll do my best. I used to do a feature called TV Get With The Times.
Radio Get With The Times.
Radio Get With The Times, yeah. I didn't name it. Where I used to basically go through some old Radio Timeses and just tell people what was on in various times in the 90s.
Which was my favourite feature because all I want to talk about is the 90s.
We know. Did people... This week, I'm doing March 1998.
Ooh.
And it was the...
Paul Gascoigne still hoping to be called up for the World Cup squad. Heart yet to... Carry on.
Okay.
Pauline having her first of many work affairs.
Classic Buckeridge.
It was the relaunch of Through the Keyhole. Not the modern relaunch. You'll remember Through the Keyhole, guys, as the primetime ITV show starring David Frost and Lloyd Grossman. And back then, of course, it was a big show. You'd have big guests on, go around the house, and the panellists would be people like Clement Freud or Kenneth Williams or Alan Corran or someone like that. But when they relaunched it, Frost and Grossman remained, but the quality of the guests and panellists went down considerably. Now the panellists would be people like Yvette Fielding or
Pauline.
Buckeridge. Pauline Buckeridge.
I wouldn't let her through my keyhole, mate.
I don't think you'd
Use
have
my
a
house
choice,
to have
mate.
some of her classic affairs.
Jenny Powell, someone like that. And if Paul Ross wasn't on the panel that week, it was only because Lloyd Grossman was walking around his house. Also that week, you could have watched Harry and the Hendersons.
Didn't you once have Through the Keyhole go around your house?
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, I forgot about that. Through the Keyhole once... Through the Keyhole once visited my own house, my old house that was now run by an old woman called Hannah Hawkswell, who had gone from
Hannah
living
of
in...
Yorkshire.
Of course, yeah. She moved into the house I grew up in. And she had no running water or electricity for years and years, and eventually moved into the house that I grew up in. But she chose not to change anything about the decor whatsoever, so that the whole house just appeared to be a weird kind of residual of my own family. So when Lloyd Grossman was saying, who lives in a house like this, I was going, me. In the past.
Did they ask her about the decor, and did she say...
They didn't ask her anything. There was no way anyone could possibly guess that it was Hannah Hawkswell, because it was like, let's look at the clues. A child's Muppet Show lampshade. Is it an old woman who lived on the moors? Very unlikely. Be very unlikely, but they would have got it. Also on that week was I'm trying to run the show along still, guys. Was Harry and the Hendersons, the TV spin-off of Bigfoot and the Hendersons. That was a very typical American family sitcom, except for the family were also trying to harbour a Bigfoot. And you might think that that's a show that probably won't last long. There's not much they can do with that. But that show ran for 72 episodes.
I don't remember the TV show, but at the end of the film, they released the Bigfoot back into the wild and he met up with his family. Does the TV season start with them recapturing him, tearing him away from the...
They take him on as a pet. They take him on as a pet.
Wait, so it's not quite a sequel, it's sort of a reimagining?
It's a reimagining, much like the Tim Burton remake of Planet of the Apes.
And it sucked just as hard. Sorry, Burton. Kumar's gunning for you.
Anything else on that week? No.
No.
Nathaniel Metcalfe! Now, should we do Wiki Race and then Nish and then Acaster? Well, no,
We'll just work out as we go along.
Yeah. Nish Kumar.
Hello.
What do you bring to the show?
Diversity, baby.
Didn't come across on radio, Nish. Did not come across. We had to keep referencing it, and I got fired.
I am an enthusiast for conspiracy theories, and so I would call into the show and discuss a conspiracy theory that I discovered that week.
You're not, let's just be clear, you're not a conspiracy theorist, you're just a fan of reading about them.
Just a fan of reading about them, guys.
What do you have for us today?
Well, I have a catchphrase for you, Josh. Good evening. Or is it? Every day that gets a lower take-up. And
I think it would have gone down better if someone hadn't already nailed good evening earlier in the show.
Can't believe it. Buckridge has been having affairs with my catchphrases. Right. Okay, I've got a conspiracy theory for you. This is the headline from it. McDonald's includes free vaccines with Happy Meals. That's right, baby. Josh, the conspiracy theory was not invented in Edinburgh. Sorry, not in Edinburgh. The conspiracy theory was not invented in America, but it's really found its spiritual home there.
Yeah.
Much like mass shootings or ALF. Which ALF, if you don't know, was an alien who ate cats, and that was the idea for a whole television show. I'm not saying it was easier to be on television then, but it definitely was. But America's really refined the art of the conspiracy theory, and I think that's largely because there are genuine nutcases who are given platforms and supported largely by celebrities. So there's a huge number of people at the moment in America who are worried about the impact of vaccines. Some of them include Rob Schneider. And what I would say is, I don't know what the impact of vaccines are, but I generally tend to not take my medical advice from a man who thought it was a good idea to be in a film called Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. Other luminaries who have come out against vaccines include Dr. Jennifer McCarthy and Professor James Carey, although how he ended up becoming an immunologist whilst also being a pet detective is simply beyond me. So, this is the story. A group of people who are campaigning against vaccines have discovered, and I use that term in inverted commas and also as a lie, that McDonald's is handing out hepatitis A vaccines with Happy Meals. And
what's the problem with that?
Well, they think that they shouldn't be doing that, but also I'm pretty sure they're not. This is how the
What do you mean handing them out with? Putting them in the burgers or like a toy?
No, like instead of a toy. So I think partly they're sort of furious from a consumer rights perspective.
Also, I love instead of a toy, like the executive decision being like, we'll take the toy out. They've already got the vaccine. Don't get a toy. We need the toys in. No, just the vaccine.
This is a tie-in with the new film Hepatitis A. So this gives you some idea of the tone of these kind of articles. It starts like this. Would you like a side of hepatitis A shot with your Happy Meal? As it turns out, your child may just be able to receive a number of significant vaccinations at your local McDonald's. I was just as shocked as you are when I heard from a local email tip that one reader's local McDonald's was launching a free vaccination program alongside their fast food marketing campaign. Now, it turns out all that was going on was that there was one McDonald's where they used the back of it to give out vaccinations. And what these people have extrapolated is that McDonald's is forcing free vaccines on children.
That's not ideal, though. Where do you have your vaccinations? At the back of a McDonald's.
Fair fine.
Let's go and play with those dogs. I'm loving it.
And the man who wrote this article, and I'm not saying this doesn't sound like a real job, but his name is Mike Adams, and his title is The Health Ranger. So... It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, so it's one of the most transparent ones that's been made up. It was just genuinely brilliant. And Mike Ranger has even suggested maybe they'll call it the MMR Happy Vaccine Meal, which just shows you comedy's not for everyone.
Nish Kumar, ladies and gentlemen. Now, to bring us to the end of the show. What?
We're on night 3, and I've found a card of someone who's met the Ting Tings.
Fucking get in.
Is Nick Duke in the house?
The Duke.
Hello, Nick.
Is that not your name?
What? Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Nick Duke. But I think
3
because he's
laughs,
met the
I'll take
Ting
it.
Tings, he deserves to be known as the Duke.
I mean, he's also said that his partner/parents want him to throw away his heretical lifestyle. So, what a guy.
Nick.
I worked in the rehearsal studio they practiced in.
Yeah, it was only in passing, but
Who was nicer, Katie White or Jules DeMartino? Tell me it was Jules.
Yeah, it was a. I don't know.
Jules is a man.
So, yeah.
I don't buy this. He thinks Jules DeMartino's a woman. No further question. I think he should shut up and let us go on. Ting Tings are not famous enough for that joke to work.
Now, Ivo, each week, and this was the highlight of Lod, you play a game against me, but you're playing against Ed Gamble, Wiki Racers. Would you like to describe the game?
Yes. The game is to get from one Wikipedia page to the other in as few links within Wikipedia as possible. The pages
Which
are
has become an obsession
pre-designated.
for you. You're not allowed to turn back.
You are allowed to turn back, but that counts as a move.
Okay, so the route we gave you to race against Ed Gamble tonight was?
The route started from, and I don't know why you picked these, the death of John Lennon to mini cheddars via James Acaster. You famously threw in the James Acaster because it's well known that John Lennon choked on a mini cheddar.
What's exciting about this is that my dad has... how long you take upon yourself to basically sort out my Wikipedia, haven't you? You've written most of it. Yeah.
So, and this afternoon, James put in a couple of phone calls.
Dad, do you know I'm really into mini cheddars? and
I killed John Lennon.
Mark Chapman.
What an embarrassing dad doing your Wikipedia page for you. I wish mine would do mine for me or take any interest whatsoever.
Tom, are you okay to tally? Would
can
you
we
like
have a
to play?
Can we have a pass score of what you expect?
Pass score.
What were the
Can we ask Pauline
The
Buckeridge how
scores
quickly
last
she
night
thinks she could do it?
between Matthew Crosby and Carlos the Jackal were 37 for Ivo and 36
An
for Ed
absolute
Gamble.
nail biter. Do download the podcast.
That was half the show last night. So.
Just to be 100% clear, the wiki race was to get from Matthew Crosby to Carlos the Jackal. I just worried that the way you phrased that sounded like we had a very special guest yesterday.
I'm going for a
in.
pass score of about 20, I think it will take.
Well, given that it took him 38 to get from 1 to 1, you think he's going to halve that by adding Acaster? I mean, I think it's going to be an absolute...
Well, we can only see. Ivo
Don't say
Graham.
school shooting again.
Would you play, Ivo?
Yeah, me first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind. So start on the death of John Lennon. Then I went to Yoko Ono because James had a bit in his in his Edinburgh show a couple of years ago about Yoko Ono.
And you think that on Yoko Ono's Wikipedia page...
It's always in popular culture.
In popular culture. James Acaster did some material on her in 2013.
Not inconceivable. Carry on,
It's
Ivo.
not inconceivable, James.
I also considered that and registered it as inconceivable.
Right, well. Okay, well, I'll reveal whether or not that worked when I tell you that the third Wikipedia page I went on was Death of John Lennon. Straight back. So then I thought, let's go via the show. Let's keep it XFM. So I went to ABC News, which was one of the stations that recorded the Death of John Lennon first. Then Radio Network, then XFM. And here's the really gutting bit. I don't know if it's because the show's now stopped, but the Josh Widdicombe show is not on the Wikipedia XFM page.
That's a fast edit.
Livid. Look, can everyone stop interrupting? I can see what Ivor's written down, and we are going to be here for 2 fucking hours.
Carry on, Ivo.
So, Death of John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Death of John Lennon, ABC News, Radio Network, XFM, Russell Brand.
Explain your thinking.
It wanted to get into comedy.
Right. Yep. Okay.
You're still trying.
And
sorry, mate. That was funny.
I wish you hadn't. I've forgotten what the word for having
Cranked
having
him
a
out.
baby. Yes. Always annoying when you want to, say that something.
Crank
you wish someone
can't be
had
uncranked, mate. Unlucky.
Can't be uncranked.
Go on.
I want to move tables.
That's like
tomorrow.
Go on.
That
let's
would be a
move on.
pro-life
I'm back.
Crank can't be uncranked.
Once you crank, you
Pro-life.
can't go back. Doesn't rhyme with
Ivo.
crank. I've gone to pieces.
Come on.
Ivo. Ivo.
Ivo, please.
Ivo.
We're on a curfew.
Ivo, come on.
Right.
Has anyone got a fag they can hold to his mouth?
XFM, Russell Brand, The Mighty Boosh, the Edinburgh Festival, the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, the Edinburgh Comedy Award, list of Edinburgh Comedy Award winners, James Acaster, Josh Widdicombe.
No.
Oh, what?
Nominees.
Yeah, but he's on the winners page.
Oh, congrats, man.
Thanks, man. What a way to find out.
Bit
I mean, it's been a
presumptuous,
lovely
David.
French.
So,
I didn't realise that was how they were announcing it these
good
days.
work.
yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
Report as spam. That's what I'll be doing later. It's James Acaster, Josh Widdicombe, Devon. See if you can see where I'm going here.
Mini cheddars from Devon.
No, Devon, and, well, eventually. Devon, clotted cream. Milk.
All milk.
List of dairy products. We're circling the drain, guys.
No, you're getting less specific.
List of dairy products. Cheese. List of cheeses. Right, and this is the most gutting bit of the entire thing. You've got list of cheeses, and it's a really long page divided by country. It's got like 5 Armenian cheeses. But when it gets to the UK, there's too many to list, so you have to jump to a new page. If only we were getting to an Armenian cheese. So it's cheese, list of cheeses UK, cheddar cheese, and then you can't get to mini cheddars from there, so you've got to go out to cheddar Somerset, then to, finally, cheddar brackets disambiguation. As soon as you see the word disambiguation, you know you're close. And then the final page, mini cheddars.
Very good work. Tom Neenan.
24.
24.
Oh. It's a big improvement on yesterday,
It's
Ivo.
a big
Well done.
improvement on yesterday.
Ed Gamble, take it away.
Now, this is going to be much less entertaining, but I am feeling very smug right now. Okay.
I love it if it had gone Death of John Lennon and James Acaster mini cheddars.
I'm very vocal on the
They're
subject.
the first links, Ivo, really. Death of John Lennon to NBC TV, to The Apprentice US, to The Apprentice UK.
What's your thinking here?
Buzzcocks. I'm trying to get to Never Mind the Buzzcocks. So
Why not just go via Yoko Ono, XFM, Russell Brand, Mighty Boosh, Edinburgh Festival, Edinburgh Comedy Awards, and James Acaster? You idiot.
Well, look, I mean, we're all looking to get to milk, but...
It was just fascinating to have a bit of a read about milk.
Any facts you picked up along the way for us, Ivo?
There are lots of different types.
Apparently,
and obviously it mentions the price of milk, but I take great pride in not knowing that.
So The Apprentice US, The Apprentice UK, BBC Two, list of programmes broadcast by the BBC, Never Mind the Buzzcocks, list of Never Mind the Buzzcocks episodes, James Acaster. James Acaster to Kettering, to Weetabix, to Biscuits, to McVitie's, to
Very good. That was superb. Tom?
I'm in a real pickle here because, firstly, I want to check with Ed that you can really get to Weetabix from Kettering because I couldn't do that. But to admit that, I'd have to say that I actually took 39 goes to get there.
You can absolutely, if you go to Kettering and you go to the local economy section...
I went in local economy.
My friend...
Not the time, guys.
Look. You did not... You can feel free to have a look on your own time, but it appears that this has been a whitewash.
Not thanks to
Ladies
me,
and gentlemen, applause for Ed Gamble. There'll be another match-up tomorrow. The show is always closed by James Acaster, who in his life has got into a lot of scrapes. You have?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you bring a classic scrape to us each day?
Yes.
And what do you have for us tonight?
Thought I'd tell one from my school days. When I started secondary school in year 7, our first music lesson, what we had to do was go away in groups and rework a nursery rhyme to be like a cool song, like a different style of song. And me and my friends went away and in our music room just had a laugh, didn't bother doing any of the work. And then we were told like a minute before we had to perform it, you've got to get in there and do your nursery rhyme. So we decided, we very quickly workshopped this without practicing it. And then went through, we decided we were going to do Humpty Dumpty, which is, I think everyone...
So were you a cool kind of rebellious group?
No, we were the geeks who liked making little jokes amongst ourselves and thinking that we were cool.
How times have moved on.
It's also the first time I think ever anyone said we decided to sing Humpty Dumpty, and it's been followed by the question, so were you quite a cool group then?
So hold on, you were one of the bad boys.
There's just a certain irony listening to you now go, we didn't really prepare and we were a bunch of geeks making little jokes and thinking, what are we done with our lives?
Ready to sing, guys? Here we go. So our performance of Humpty Dumpty was 3 of us. I was elected as the lead singer. No reason for that. 3 people were like the backing vocalists, and they were reciting the Humpty Dumpty, the poem, in a really kind of sad
what had the other people
way.
done?
What
were the other kind of entrants?
Everyone else done like, a rock and roll version of Jack and Jill, or like...
obviously.
Yeah.
What school did you go to?
Yeah, or like a rap version of like, something. It was all like, taking a popular nursery. I'm doing it. But all of them, to be fair, were quite low key. It was pretty much just them sitting there and singing the song with a different backing track on the demo on the keyboard, and then go, okay, that'll do. And because we thought everyone had taken all lesson to do it, they were going to do amazing things, is what we thought. So we very quickly did something that was a bit too theatrical. So my classmates behind me, there's about 3 of them. I think it was Lee Van Gibson, Joe Devlin, and Luke Bevan, respectively.
Hyperlinks to all of them on James's page.
Yeah. Lee Van Gibson?
Lee Van Gibson, mate. Yeah, I mean...
Lee Van Gibson?
The Lee Van Gibson. He's no one.
How is he not the lead singer?
Yeah, he should be. He's so much promise.
Is he on Facebook? I'll look it up. I'll look him up.
They were all there reciting Humpty Dumpty in a really sad voice, really kind of in like
a sad story,
really forlorn. And I was pacing in front of them, back and forth, just kind of looking like that, like I'd just seen the incident myself, like it was. And it really.
So you weren't vocalising.
We should probably recreate this, James.
So okay.
You go
So there.
And we'll do Humpty Dumpty.
They are singing. Well, I mean, we can't recreate.
What sort of tempo and style are we going?
It was literally. They were going
Okay, so if we
like
do
a
that,
horror
will you do
film.
what you do?
Okay, so we'll do
Ready?
that.
Yeah.
All of us.
Okay, and then you do what you do.
Okay, guys, let's really nail this.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't
To
put
keep it going,
Humpty
I can do what I did over. I started
together
doing over the top of it.
Humpty Dumpty
Humpty
sat
Dumpty.
on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a
Sat on a
great
wall.
fall. All the king's horses and all
Humpty
the king's
Dumpty
men
had a great fall.
put Humpty together again.
All the king's horses
Humpty Dumpty
and all the
had a
king's
great
men.
fall. Humpty Dumpty had a great
They couldn't
fall.
put Humpty
All the king's horses
together
and all
again.
the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again.
And then it stopped, and then they stopped. They stopped, and then I looked at my classmates and I went, la 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 Humpty, and we started a song. So I said la 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 la, and then my classmates started going Humpty Dumpty, and I was like, sat on a wall, sat on a wall, la 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 Humpty now. And what?
It's like abandoned man.
This drawing is going to be magnificent.
Well, while this is happening as well, I'm quite at desks like you are, and I'm properly propping myself up like a rock star. My foot on the desk, and really headbanging, doing a lot of that. The chorus was so simply was me going like. It was all them going la la Humpty, and me going Humpty.
Let's do
Dumpty.
Can we have a quick go of the chorus?
Sure, mate. Yeah.
La
la Humpty,
Humpty.
La la Humpty,
Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty.
That Eggman, I said that Eggman so many times over the top of it. It was that Eggman a lot.
So how did it go down?
And at the end of it, we
You
pretty
said to
much
them,
got a
"That may be
standing
a bit too much
ovation.
for
They
you."
went crazy. Like all my classmates absolutely loved it. It went
Not
down-
tonight.
Not as much tonight, but really loved it. They loved it, and they loved it so much that from then on, every time my class was well behaved, if we were given a most classes were like, if you get your work done in time, you can all play on the computers or something nice. Our class, it became, what do you want your reward to be? And then we go, we would like them to perform La La Humpty. Again, please. So, and it wasn't just music class, because it was an a cappella song, we could do it anywhere. So, it became anywhere, we would do La 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 Humpty. Until once it had been wearing me down. It probably was the 5th time I'd done it that week because I had a very irritatingly well-behaved class, and eventually it became one. And we did all the sad bit, and we did all me doing all that, and then it got to like they all
Do you want us
stopped.
to act out this bit, or?
Okay, Joe, yeah, we can recreate the very final time we did it, if you like. Although it's very sad.
This is like the death of Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah, this is the time. I basically retired on stage in front of my class at the end of a chemistry lesson. Yeah, if we could do it again. Yeah.
No, it's out on the wall.
Okay, let's count ourselves in.
You guys aren't as good as Lee Van Gibson and the crew, by the way.
1, 2, 3.
Humpty Dumpty sat on
Humpty
a
Dumpty.
wall. Humpty Dumpty
Sat on a wall.
had a great fall. All the
Humpty
king's
Dumpty
horses and all
had a
the
great
king's
fall.
men couldn't put Humpty
All the king's
together
horses.
again. Humpty
All the king's
Dumpty
men.
sat on a wall. Humpty
Couldn't put
Dumpty
Humpty
had a great fall.
together.
All the king's horses and all the king's men
Again.
couldn't put Humpty together again.
La 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 la. Miss, I can't do this anymore. It's taking it out of me. I can't do it anymore.
I love the idea of you smashing the gig and a lot of really cool kids by the side of the stage looking really cross with like electric guitars and pails of water.
We worked
We're going to do Jack and Jill. Can't follow that.
Is there a second verse to Humpty Dumpty?
No.
No, I mean, if there is, it's almost certainly racist.
Why? Why?
Just because all of those, like, it's like the national anthem. If you look at all of the verses, like, a lot of them are like, uh-oh.
Right, we haven't got time for this conspiracy theory. James Acaster, ladies and gentlemen. That more or less brings us to the end of the show. To end the show, Tom Neenan has drawn the show. We will go through it. Should we? If you'd like to bring it out, Tom, for everyone to see. Has it been an easy? Oh, you haven't got a mic, have you? Here we go.
Thank you. Go on, cheers. Can everyone see? Near enough? Good. Okay. No?
Move it back between the tables as per, mate.
Didn't learn from last time. Okay. Not a vintage week. This was amazing from me. Not a vintage week. Let's just crack on. Josh Widdicombe's XFM podcast live. I've titled this piece of work, and like all the work I did during my school years, I've done that S thing. I don't know what that's called, but
I think it's the Slipknot symbol. Actually,
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's the Slipknot
Isn't
symbol.
that the S from Gladiators?
No, because Gladiators began with a G. From Sladiators.
Tom, can you show me how to do that afterwards? I've always wanted.
Yeah.
We get it, Ivo. You're younger than us.
I don't care. I'm finally the cool kid. Okay.
Tom, can you draw me a car?
It used to be naked women, so this is an improvement. First up, we had James was talking about how someone got his name wrong on a show that's repeated on Dave. And I thought, I'm trying to be a bit abstract this time. Dave and getting people's name wrong, what do you immediately think of? That's right, it's Trigger from Only Fools and Horses. There he is, writing some online abuse to James Acaster. In this case, he's just gone for the fairly basic Kettering knob.
To anyone who thinks that Neenan doesn't put the hard yards in, look at the bite out of the apple on the computer. So much.
Again, I
attention to
referenced
detail.
this last night, but arms are really not your
No,
skill.
no.
They are withered away from some sort of disease. I am worried about the future of Roger Lloyd Pack.
I mean, he is dead.
That's why I'm worried about his future. He's not coming back.
Yeah, you can see I got really excited about Hooky Street and then just it really petered out there. What next? Okay, right, yeah. This takes a lot of explaining. So, I'll walk you through it, don't worry. So this was, Matthew's now gone, but this was his sort of dueling autobiographies, which were Sting and what was her name? It was Charlotte Crosby. Charlotte Crosby. So I've tried to combine the two, which is Sting, but he's pissed himself. There's a turd there and a sort of a mixing bowl full of effluent at his feet. I'm going to win you back, don't worry, because it gets better. I then realised that this creation here is a mix between the two, which means this person here is called Sting Crosby. And as you can see with the BNP flag, he's dreaming of a white Christmas. Tying it all up. What's this? Oh, yeah. Nish said, Ban Ki-moon. So that's what that is. What's next? Oh, yeah. Fairly self-explanatory. This is, was it a pizza you ordered after the funeral? To the lady who... Oh, no! Oh.
Hello.
That was Nish, in case anyone's worried.
Because that's just the moped driver. I assumed it was a pizza. Sorry, I wasn't concentrating. So that's the moped driver imagining he's about to deliver a pizza, Domino's, to a crying Jack Sparrow. That's what that was. Okay. If you think that's bad, the next one I'll just skip over very quickly. That's Canada profiteering from the deaths of the young. Moving on. Went down better than thought, so I'll just go back to that and point out hashtag how the world is like now. This was when we were talking about have you ever pretended to be someone? And this was the guy who was at British Aerospace. So what he's done here is he's hacked into British Aerospace, and the first thing he's done is he's gone for a little game of solitaire there. Quite the maverick. Probably wondering why there's steam coming out there. It's because it's the early days of computers. What have we got next? Oh, yeah. So this was it Through the Keyhole? You're mentioning Through the Keyhole, which was a brilliant 90s show. And you said that sort of the panelists weren't that good back in the 90s. So I've drawn my perfect Through the Keyhole panel based on my favourite people from the 90s. So I've got, on the panel are Pob, Toadfish from Neighbours, and the Lighthouse from Round the Twist.
That has gone so over Ivo's head. It's
I don't know who any of those people slash
We
houses
get it,
are.
mate. We get it.
Calm down, Nish.
What have we got next? Oh, yeah. You say that it isn't true about the McDonald's handing out what are they called? Vaccinations. That's the word. But my friend Lee Snell swears blind he once found a syringe in a Kinder Egg.
Surprise!
So that's what I've drawn there, even though he had the Kinder Egg, and shortly afterwards we saw him with one of those turtles that rides a bike. You know those little family of turtles? So I've just
So is the
illustrated
turtle the toy?
Hmm?
What's the turtle?
The turtles are the little toys you get in the Kinder Egg. And
Well,
that's
at least Kinder did what McDonald's didn't do, which is keep the toy in as well as the needle.
It made a lot of sense. What's this? Oh, yeah, this is the tally chart that I made. So just to represent the death of John Lennon, I've just written To Kill a Mockingbird in various insane fonts.
It was
Catcher in the Rye.
No! So that's wrong.
Have you done?
It would have been much worse if it was To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah. Are those squiggles my breakdown?
Yeah, that's literally your breakdown.
Oh, God, we white nerds don't stick up for each other anymore, do we, Neenan?
Oh, yeah, 14 I got, by the way, at the end of that. Congratulations.
Really impressive, Ed.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your support.
And finally, I made I didn't hide it at all. I thought that Acaster's song was one of the most incredible things I've ever heard. So I've designed you a cover for the single.
Finally.
Yeah, so if you're just, here we go. It's just Acaster, Memories of an Eggman. You're dressed as one of the King's men. And
is that it?
that was the show.
Tom Neenan!
Thank you very much.
Before we go, who are we going to elect as who is the winner? Who's the best audience member? It can't be her, can it? Try and repay.
I had a bit of it was funny.
Mrs. Depp.
Mrs. Depp. Let's have a vote.
yeah, Mrs. Depp.
A shout off. Do you want the woman who had the affair, or do you want Mrs. Depp? Shouts for the woman that had the affair. Yeah. Shout for Mrs. Depp. Yeah. Mrs. Depp, you are the winner. Congratulations. Get to keep the pictures. Thank you very much for coming. You've genuinely been a lovely audience. Thank you so much. Cheers. Good night.